Topic 4.3, surface area of a right rectangular prism. A right rectangular prism has 6 rectangular faces: the top, front, left, bottom, back, and right. The surface area of a right rectangular prism is the sum of the areas of the 6 rectangles. Remember that area of a rectangle is equal to base times height. There are 2 keys to success when trying to calculate the surface area of a right rectangular prism. The first is to make sure that you don't forget a surface or a face. And the second is to make sure that you have the correct measurements. So in order to ensure success, it's very helpful to label each face so that you don't forget you have 6 of them that you have to account for. One simple way to do that is to number them off. 1, let's say that 2 can be the back, 3, 4 can be the left-handed side, 5 will be the top, and 6 will be the bottom. And then, we just need to remember our area formula. Area is equal to base times height. Area of a rectangle, that is, equals base times height. And then we can actually list each of our 6 sides, and we can do a quick calculation for each one to determine their areas. So side number 1 has a base of 5 and a height of 4. Here's where you have to be careful. You just have to make sure that you're using the right measurements. So 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Side number 2 is actually going to be the same as the front. The dimensions will be the same. The base will be 5 and the height will be 4. So I'm just going to put 20 here. The third side has a base of 8 and a height of 4. 8 times 4 is equal to 32. And I know that the right and left side are congruent, so they're going to have the same areas. And the fifth side has a base of 8 and a height of 5, okay? Base of 8 and a height of 5. Really, the 2 dimensions, doesn't matter what order they're in, as long as you multiply them. Remember the commutative property. Doesn't matter which one's on which side, the answer is going to be the same. So that's going to equal 40. And I know that the bottom is going to have the same dimensions as the top, so it's going to have an area of 40 as well. Now, the surface area of the right rectangular prism is determined by adding up all of the areas of the 6 sides. So now, we get to add up all of these. 20 plus 20 plus 32 plus 32 plus 40 plus 40, which is 184 square centimeters, or centimeters squared. Let's try another problem. Now, if we recognize that there are actually 3 sets of 2 congruent sides in a right rectangular prism, then we know that we really only have to determine the areas of 3 sides and then multiply each of those by 2. So I'm just going to show you another way that you could potentially solve a problem like this. Again, remember, we can't forget about any of the sides, and we have to be careful with the area measurements. So in this example, the top, the side, and the front, they're color-coded. So let's start with the front. The front has a base of 15 and a height of 6. Base of 15 and a height of 6. So we'll multiply those 2 together, remembering that the area of a rectangle is base times height. Now, I'm going to multiply this by 2 now, because I know that the front and the back, they are both the same. They're congruent. So multiplying this by 2 is going to give us a shortcut to the answer. And we can do the same with the sides. Side is going to be base times height. So 10 times 6. We're going to multiply that by 2 sides. And we can do that same thing with the top and the bottom. So the top would be, you have to be careful here, the top would have one of the dimensions being 10 and the other being 15. So 15 times 10 times 2 sides. Okay, and then we just need to do that math and find the sum of all of those 6 sides, right? 2, 4, 6 sides, and we've got our surface area. And we can write that out in short form as SA, surface area. Now we're dealing with centimeters here, so 15 times 6, that would be 90 times 2. 90 times 2 is 180 centimeters. 10 times 6 is 60. 60 times 2 is 120. 15 times 10 would be 150. 150 times 2 would be 300. Okay, and then we can add these up. And that will give us 600 centimeters squared.